Making a video. Physics, I guess. Back to physics. No, there won't be any physics. It's just going to be a discussion about who's allowed to think on planet Earth. What the standards are, I suppose. So anyway, it's just kind of irritating. Alright, so there's this guy I call Brickhead. Yeah. He calls me whatever, Rocky Dennis, which is fine. Yeah, I like the name Rocky. I'll go with that. No, he did alright with the women. Anyway, yeah, it's just... Come on, he does look like a brickhead. Come on, it's a brick. If somebody drew him on SpongeBob, he'd be a brickfish. No doubt about it. Anyway, well, I would be a super cool fish. Anyway, off of the clam or something. Sea urchin, cucumber. He'd be one of those cucumbery things. Anyway, so he's made a little summing up video, blah blah. Oh yeah, well, I was very supportive in my ridicule right from the beginning. Constructive ridicule. Haven't you heard of constructive ridicule? He doesn't have anything more to say. He says, so fine, whatever. I just, I don't really get it, frankly. I'm just saying, if somebody came up with a theory, explains, let's see, inertia, and magnetism, and time dilation, and gravity, and base them all on the same conceptual elements. Yeah, I find that intriguing. After 100 years of complete bullshit, it seems like a rather radically different way of viewing the universe. But anyway, okay, nothing to see here. Okay, got it. Whatever. Fine. Thank you for the constructive ridicule. Yeah, obviously I'll put it to good use. Obviously. It's been a big help. No. Alright, anyway, so enough of that. So, now this idiot. So this guy is qualified, number one. Okay, he's qualified to know an idiot from a non-idiot, and especially in the subject of physics, he can tell whether you're idiotic or not, because he's the idiot detector. That's what the brick is for. That's, everybody knows bricks are really good at detecting idiots. Everybody uses a brick to find out if there's an idiot coming. We all know that, right? So, yeah, it's this whole qualifications thing. So it doesn't really matter what you know. It's what badges. You gotta have the badge. And if you don't have the badge, you obviously don't know anything. So, obviously you don't get any badges for life experience or, years at the job or any of that kind of crap. And so none of that stuff has any value to this guy. He wouldn't inquire how long somebody's been doing something, because that doesn't mean anything. Because you don't get a badge for that. Unless you do get a badge. If there's a badge, well, then okay. You must know what you're doing, but you have a badge. And this is in the context, again, where professional physicists don't even come close to telling the truth when they describe the two-slit experiment. I mean, they don't describe reality at all. The experimental evidence, anything even approaching reality. Totally dishonest. And in the context of a conversation about things like dark matter, clearly contrived. Just a clear contrivance. They said, look, the math doesn't work. Einstein fails. There's no way. There's lensing, and where's it coming from? And so they invent something as magical as it's exactly like matter, except it's nothing like matter, except it does gravity. And it only does it where it is, because, yeah, we can just put it anywhere we want to, and it doesn't cause anything like acceleration or effects. It doesn't make anything move different. It's only like, it's a special kind of gravity that just provides lensing gravity, really. It doesn't affect any other kind of motion much. Except it makes galaxies much heavier so that the outside can move a little bit faster without breaking the rules. Of course, the stuff on the inside is now moving way too slow. Oh, maybe that's a problem. Yeah, let's fill it with dark matter so it has more gravity so the outside can move faster. But then all of a sudden the inside's moving too slow. So I guess they'll have to come up with some, oh yeah, they'll come up with the dark energy that's right behind it. Well, anyway, so my argument is, who fuck credentials, fuck all that shit. Who's talking something like a rational argument? Who's explaining something with facts that are facts? Light travels in straight lines. Ooh. I mean, you know, so anyway, so he says it all right here. So when I got to this point, I said, okay, all the Rocky Dennis stuff is all funny, ha ha ha, 4 minutes of shit. But this is this is how he views the world. So this is kind of the statement from the brickhead.
Isn't quite doing the course, is it? Really?
Right. Watching a course isn't doing a course. I can't prove I watched them. It doesn't. Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying I got a degree. I'm not saying I even paid much attention to some of the math, because I didn't. You know, I cared about the relationships and the concepts. That's what I was after, the rules and the laws.
What?
Watch the full first and second year lecture courses of physics. And you're saying I have no qualifications whatsoever.
Yes, that is literally what I'm saying.
Right. So he's saying it doesn't matter what you know. You could read the entire Encyclopedia Britannica, and you have not in some way enhanced your qualification to opine on subjects like what are the most numerous trees in North America or something. All those little factoids that you now have don't mean anything. The fact that you could actually answer some questions and do that that doesn't mean anything. That you're not qualified by having knowledge. Knowledge doesn't qualify you to do anything. Yeah, it does.
Just watching 2 years worth of physics lectures is not having a qualification. That's not how that system works.
What system? Your Nazi soldier system? It's all about who you know system? You know, I mean, what other system is there? I mean, I'm sorry, I just don't really understand. You're saying that you're endorsing this idea of what? I mean, you know, if they just gave a test online, I could probably get a C or something on the course. I mean, the fact that I don't have the money to pay for it? Oh, yeah, that should decide who has a right to open their mouth or not, right? Yeah, of course. Yeah, right. Fuck you. I mean, really, again, this isn't so difficult. If you're going to sit there and you're going to tell people what physics is real physics, now you haven't qualified yourself at all, so you haven't defined how you know anything about physics whatsoever, and yet you're capable of detecting bullshit and the real deal. And you do it based on, well, that guy graduated, so therefore he's right. So it doesn't matter how crazy his theory is. It doesn't matter whether he's telling the truth, whether you can catch him in actual false statements. That doesn't matter.
No, I didn't say you didn't do any work.
Well, yeah, you said I haven't earned it. I haven't earned the right to have an opinion, and to have my opinion taken for what it is, an opinion, and have it analyzed fairly, not ridiculed, not thrown in the garbage, not paid attention to, not mocked without even having it read, not having it qualified by some brickhead who never read it, who sits in a room and listens to some moron like Skyzer tell him what it is. I'm sorry, you know, no, you can't, you're not selling me on this shit. You have an obligation to at first at least read it, and as soon as it says something like, well, then the aliens probed me, or something, you have to wait till you actually get to a part where you can say, okay, this guy's, you know, doing the other planet shit. You know, space cadet, tree hugger, whatever category you want to put them in, because they start doing some loop-de-doop-de thing. I can hear the forest talking and it's saying, stop hurting me. Yeah, okay, as soon as you got that sentence, then you have a right to say, okay, we're done now, you flat earth kook. So what statement disqualified my paper? Where did you go? What line did you get to where you said, oh, there, he's talking UFO nonsense. He's a truther. What statement just was too much for you? Where's the Sasquatch in that paper? Show me the Sasquatch I'm referencing. Show me the the insane conspiracy theory. They're out to get me. I can feel they implanted my brain full of computer chips and antiviral things and stuff. And fluoride. Where is that? No, I make a basic statement that there was this question to be answered, and there was a 50-50 choice. Particle wave, particle wave. And what did they do? They took out some Elmer's glue and tried to glue the two things together and say, hey, look, it's a particle wavy. It's a particle wavy, baby. And I said, well, I think that's bullshit.
That would be a straw man.
Straw man? What the hell was he talking about? That would be a straw man. So having listened, again, having opened books and read them, there's no reason to think somebody learned anything. I think it is a reason. I think there is an association between actually opening books, reading them, and not opening books and not reading them. I think there's a higher probability that the person who opened the book and read the book will understand the book better than the person who didn't open the book and didn't read the book. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good theory of a probabilistic outcome.
Research on the two-slit experiment, and I would condemn anybody on YouTube. I've seen.
Anyone on YouTube? Well, that is fucking amazing.
Okay, you say it's amazing, but do you realistically think it's really that amazing? I mean, if I said I could put more pennies on my elbow and catch them than anybody on YouTube, would you think that was an outrageous thing to say? Huh? I mean, it might be that when I was a kid I actually did that, and so I'm actually really good at it. So yeah, you can stack 100 pennies on my elbow, and I got a big enough hand to catch them. So does that mean something? I mean, really, do you think it's that difficult a competition for me to win the watch two slit video? Is there any evidence that anybody else seems at all concerned about understanding that experiment? I mean, it's basically a Jesus theory, and they've all accepted it, and I don't think anybody's reading that Bible anymore. I mean, they're that kind of Christian, okay? I mean, they're like Catholics. They don't read the Bible. They just, whatever the Pope says. What does Simon say the Bible says? They don't actually look at the experiment. So you really don't think I could actually be winning, okay, the watch the most two-slit experiments on YouTube contest. You don't think I could be? It's outrageous that I could possibly be doing that, because there's so many obvious candidates for the prize. I mean, there's just so many people out there, you just obviously know they must have watched a ton of two-slit videos. You think so? I would just give me the channel name of the contenders, please. Give me the channel name of who you think's in contention for that gold medal, because I want to watch their videos. I want to hear what an expert on the two-slit experiment has to say. That would be intensely interesting to me. So yes, bring it on. Show me the contenders.
Wow. Well, I've masturbated more times than anyone on YouTube. That means just as much in terms of my knowledge of physics.
Okay, there we go. So watching two-slit experiments, most of them have analysis to go with them. Certainly the ones that are part of scientific videos certainly have an analysis in mathematics and all of that stuff. That's masturbating. You don't gain any qualification or knowledge of physics by watching physics videos. It's true if you're watching Dr. Quantum, a video I critiqued like 6 years ago, because it's just full of lies, and it's a science video, and it's put on YouTube, and nobody does anything about it. The scientists don't get together and say, let's write a petition to YouTube to say, at least put a warning on that video that it's really rotten science, that physicists do not agree with this video. Do something to qualify it, to say, no, this isn't an accurate description of our reality. But they don't do that.
More of them. I've read about
I know it doesn't literally, but you get the point.
Well, you don't. Obviously, you don't get the fucking point, do you? You just pointed out how you don't get the point. Jesus Christ. I didn't mean to take the fake Lord's name in vain.
Is that prison slang?
I don't know. I can't really hear it.
Yes, you're not qualified.
Right, so I'm not qualified. Again, so it's just kind of funny, right? I mean, you're just saying, okay, so it doesn't qualify. Reading books, reading a document doesn't qualify you to critique a document. Having a knowledge base on a subject doesn't give you any qualifications whatsoever to have an opinion, or to have that opinion respected, not for what your hair looks like, Einstein, or where you worked, patent office. No, we should just judge. We'll just see how many holes are in your pants, or, you know, how old your shoes are, and we'll decide whether you can do physics or not. I mean, fuck, who cares what your theory is, right? The fact that you actually have a theory and you wrote it down, fuck that. We won't even bother reading it, because we already know you're stupid. I mean, you can't just see how you're just being an asshole, and you can't just admit, okay, shit, yeah, alright. I mean, goddamn, I just basically said I'm a bigot against anyone, okay, who's not wearing one of these socially accepted badges, and that's just sort of bullshit. Yes, maybe there's a lot of crackpots in the world, but that doesn't mean that everyone who uses their brain and comes up with a theory is a crackpot. And again, it's not that hard to tell. You don't have to read very far into somebody's theory to get to, holy shit, he's crazy. You really don't. I mean, the one guy, rope theory. Oh boy, he's already in trouble with the rope theory. And then if you hear what he has to say, where he's actually saying there are real ropes connected to every fucking atomic particle in the universe, to every other atomic particle in the universe. Yeah, I think that's pretty much Sasquatch, right? We're at Sasquatch by now, right?
You're just not. And neither am I. But I'm not the one going around trying to rewrite what physics is.
Again, and I'm not asking them to accept my word as the God Inmendham, am I? No, I'm asking for what's called a rational critique, something that has something to do with the subject. Will you point to me where I've gotten some of that somewhere in this slop? Some kind of rational argument how magnets can't be polarizing filters and they can't be polarizing photons that don't have a frequency, and that's all impossible, and blah blah blah. The same force that makes gravity, that makes planets move, is the same force that makes magnets move together, because magnets polarize that force and therefore make it many times stronger. They magnify the force. Outrageous.
I haven't done anything to make myself informed and educated on the subject.
Informed, yes. Educated, not really.
Well, I don't know what the difference between those two things are, so I'll just say it's not even a straw man, right? That's just that's one of those what do you call those non sequitur things? Those resort to nature things. It's a fallacy. Yeah, there's a difference between being informed and knowledgeable. Fallacy. Yeah, I don't think so.
Again, you look like Rocky Dennis, mate. I wouldn't be going on about other people's looks.
I would, frankly.
Yes, I'm an ugly bastard.
I would. Like I said, Rocky Dennis was created to be lovable. I mean, they built in all kinds of subliminal charm, okay, just to make him empathetic and sympathetic. If they made him a real Rocky Dennis, then everybody would puked and shit. So they had to make him lovable. So I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have all those special charms. Makes all the chicks wild.
I'll happily admit that. Your work.
Yes, you're a brick. Women don't like bricks.
That's the thing. It's the same actually. As an aside, with Sarkon, he calls me potato head. You're fatter than me, you cunt. What are you doing?
I think he's talking about the quality of the starch. You see, your brain is just pretty much just starch. No neurons, just starch. Starchy. Too much starch in your brain. Sticky goo. Durr. Oh, yeah, durr. We had a durr moment. Durr, maybe I am a brick. Starchy brick.
Paper brickhead? Have you?
No, I was too busy having a brick in my head. Obvious one.
Yeah, it's all. Obviously, I just like critiquing shit out of my ass on the internet, and, you know, I don't want to have to read anything. I don't want to have to qualify my opinion. I have opinions. I don't qualify my opinions. I qualify other people's opinions. Oh, yeah, that's what he's doing. He's the authority from authority. That's probably his theory. He's from another world, far, far away, where they're born instantly authorities. Yes. That's why I look like bricks, because bricks are all authority. Look at all my straight edges and my flatness. Yeah, you can't deny me. Whatever I say goes. I'm a brickhead.
You're going to critique something you haven't even read, correct? You haven't read the
I wasn't actually critiquing your work.
Oh, please. Please, 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 please. Yes, you were. You were sitting with a group of fucktards with your thumbs up your asses who couldn't say one single rational thing, just doing a bunch of ridiculing of not only me, but anyone who bothers to spend some time thinking. Really. Just because, yes, some part of that class will be idiots. So they're all idiots. Right? I was going to try to think of an example, like, well, just because some priests molest children, does that mean they all do? Yeah, okay, they probably all do, so, okay, that wouldn't be a good example.
Critiquing you dickhead. You're pretending to be a scientist.
Whatever. I don't know exactly how I'm pretending to be. I call the channel Draft Science. Draft. And yes, I'm pretending that I have qualified myself on some of these limited subjects. I went out and did the research. I didn't know much about gravitational lensing 2 years ago, so yeah, I had to do the research to find out what was going on, because it all sounded a little bit crack-ass. And the more research you do, the more you find out, ooh, it is just a bunch of crack-assing. And that's my fault, right? Because I should have drawn the sensible conclusion that all of those lovely scientists wouldn't be lying cunts. It's not possible, but they're lying cunts.
No. Oh, bollocks, I pressed the wrong fucking thing. Go back.
Yeah, I've done that too. Brick fingers. Yeah. Bricky fingers. Yeah.
So, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yes, exactly my point. You don't know what you're doing, and you really should have a sign. I'm a brick. Don't take what I'm saying too seriously. Starch. A lot of starch, dude.
Yes, I'll critique you and your qualifications because you're an idiot and you don't have any qualifications.
Right, okay. So again, you're qualified to define these things, and you're not letting us know what standard, I mean, what table of idiocracy are you using to vector and come up with what's your formula for idiot? Anything you can't understand or anything you didn't bother to read. Oh, he's an idiot. I didn't read it, so it's obviously idiotic nonsense, because, yeah, I didn't read it. Seems logical. From a certain what's in it for me perspective. Bricks are kind of selfish.
You're going to do it this arrogant manner where everybody listening to me, pay attention. See,
You call me arrogant?
Yes.
You're the one pretending to be a scientist.
Again, you're saying I'm pretending to be a scientist. I don't know what's the difference. I'm pretending to have a theory, okay, and I think, okay, my theory adds all up and has all the proper blah blah in it without any woo woo, without any dark matter or bent space or relativistic time frames. And so, yeah, I think it's entitled to be ridiculed or critiqued with something called a rational fucking challenge. You have to come up with some kind of challenge like that somehow means something. Like somehow you explain to me again how it's not possible that magnetic material could be polarizing the same force that creates gravity.
You have absolutely no qualifications to call yourself that.
Well, again, I don't know where you got some evidence that I've called myself Mr. Science. I'm Mr. Science. I'm the only qualified scientist in the universe. Where did I say that? I didn't say that.
Pointing out to you that this guy's a fraud. I have no evidence that he's a fraud.
I didn't say you were a fraud.
Oh my God! You're pretending to be a scientist. I think that's called the definition of fraud, asshole. I mean, shit. I mean, you know, this isn't even challenging. You know, when you keep doing this too. You people, you just keep contradicting yourselves in the very next sentence. You're just like, how could they do that? I mean, couldn't they wait a couple of sentences before they say exactly the opposite thing?
I didn't say you were a fraud at all. I don't believe you to be a fraud. I believe you to be an idiot.
And a fake. I'm faking my credentials, and I'm faking that I'm pretending to be a scientist. That's what you said, asshole. But again, how do you base this? What is the idiocy based on? Again, you just keep making the claim, yet show me the sentences that get me thrown in idiot camp, please. Show me the Sasquatch. Show me the UFO, the Area 56... Area 56! Fluorine! Red alert! Show me that. Till then, I think you're just talking out of your...
Very different thing.
I have no evidence that
Being a fraud would take some amount of intelligence that you don't possess.
Right, so being a... What's the difference? So pretending and frauding are different. Oh, okay. I'm somehow a frauder, so I must be making big bucks at it, right? And that the difference, fraud is like, yeah, that you're in it for the money or something. Well, I don't think I'll bother with these technical distinctions, right? Because, wow, that would be a colossal waste of my time to research that. Yeah.
he's no longer ignorant. I'm just going to make the claim. And that's something that somebody should respect.
I don't give a fuck if anyone respects.
Ah, there, go. Okay, there. You don't give a fuck. That is exactly a standards, reason, rationality, consistency, fairness. Fuck all that shit. It's not a game I'm playing. Yeah, you're making that obvious. Bricks don't do that. Bricks don't do that.
Yeah. No, wow. I mean,
I'm just saying, you look like a pedophile.
I forgot what I was going to say now, and I've just ruined one of my best lines because he says, "You look like a pedophile, fucker." But the way he says it makes me sound like I'm fucking pedophiles.
Exactly. Both. True enough. You're fucking pedophiles. You're a pedophile fucker. That's even better. You look like a pedophile fucker. That's what a pedophile fucker looks like. Yeah. Oh, jeez. What a face.
Which would be perfectly legal. But
Probably wouldn't be legal if the pedophile still had like a 5-year-old shoved up his ass. Then it wouldn't be legal. I thought your part was done. That's Geyser.
I'm just doing another person in there.
Yeah, that was the Geyser part. I just upped the the volume a little bit so you could hear it. But yeah, that was Geyser.
He was quite a nice chap. Albeit I only talked to him briefly, but...
Yeah, right. So, you really didn't do the research yet. Yeah, why don't you go do a little research on Geyser, okay? And then realize that, oh shit, I was in a room full of real idiots. You want to know idiot? Yeah. Get up close and personal with Geyser. That will give you what's called personal experience. Yeah. Qualify your knowledge base.
Again, so you're supposed to shut up.
If you don't know what you're talking about, ideally, yes.
Oh yeah, right, exactly. So we're right back to zero again. You claim I don't know what I'm talking about. So I spent 3 years researching a couple of narrow subjects, and I can't possibly have acquired any knowledge, qualifying knowledge in those 3 years because nobody gave me a badge.
I mean, you can give opinions, but don't pretend that they're facts.
Again, where am I pretending they're facts? I'm saying that, look, logically, this sounds really good, okay? Unlike that bent space bullshit, this one unifies all of the forces. Every single one of them gets unified under this theory, and it does exactly what one would expect when you reduce things. When you go deeper into the physics, you expect it to get simpler. You don't expect there to be little men running the system and a whole, like there's 17 little men that are making gold molecules. Look at all the little men making the gold molecules. No, you expect it to get simpler. Less little men doing things. Less little magic bits. And I give you the simplest system possible. I mean, it's so fucking simple. And yet it's capable, over time, of evolving features. Evolution. Have you heard of evolution? It gives you a diagram of evolution. Space-time doesn't do that.
That's the attitude. Shut up.
You should probably shut up, yes.
Doesn't matter unless you have a degree, right? So unless I get the...
You should be built into a church. You should be a little brick in a church. That's what you belong. You belong with the conformists and the ones who do exactly as the Pope says.
a little badge to wear.
This is the thing, this video is called, what the fuck, number 417. Jesus, we've been around forever. I don't need no stinking badges, which apart from the absolutely appalling construction of that sentence.
It's from a movie, retard. You know, like the mask thing, you know, that's a movie about the little fake guy and stuff and blah blah blah. Cher and stuff. Actress. Kind of. Yeah, well, there was a movie, right? Mel Brooks. Kind of a funny guy. You wouldn't know because, you know, sense of humor and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And it was a Mexican. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking Mexican, you know. We don't need no stinking badges. Yeah, there was that kind of thing. Yeah. I could have put stinking in, but I didn't. Oh, I might have.
You do kind of need the badge. And it's not, you can try and demean it by saying, it's a badge, I don't need the badge. You sort of do, Garrett.
Well, no, I'm just saying that that's what's wrong with the world then, okay? If the world is going to get hung up on this stupid badge crap, I'm just saying I'm all for having tests for things, fine. But authority things, you know, I mean, things like this, you can't test for this. You can't test for Albert Einsteinisms. And, you know, the irony is Einstein was wrong. But I'm just saying, you're not going to be able to test for Newton or Michelangelo or blah 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 blah. You're just not going to. You're not going to be able to tap on their eggs and go, oh, I think this is a good one. You're just not. And I'm not asking for any of that stuff. I'm just saying that I have qualified myself enough to get a rational counter argument, not an irrational one. You're basically arguing I'm arguing in defense of Sasquatch, and you haven't shown me anything Sasquatchian in my fucking goddamn paper. Shithead.
Because it's not the badge itself; it's what that signifies. It shows that you actually have been through those lectures that you claim.
Yeah, well, whatever. I mean, Obama went to law school. George Bush graduated from Yale. You think he really did?
You've been through, and not just that, but you've written stuff and you've done experiments and all of that, which has been overseen by actual fucking professionals.
Well, again, what I'm saying is actual professional doesn't mean anything, because the actual professionals are so poorly describing the experiment. How could you sit there and say you need an actual professional who doesn't even accurately describe what single slit diffraction is? Why would you want an overseer who is overtly incapable of accurately describing the experiment? I mean, come on. That's the whole point here. I wouldn't need to be doing this if they were doing their job. If physicists were doing their job, I would be completely unnecessary.
And you've shown at least a basic grasp of the course material, which you have not shown. So we have to take...
Well, again, that's your accusation. Based on what? Where's my lack of basic grasp? I'm talking about gravitational lensing. I'm pointing out what Einstein said. I'm pointing out how there's a relationship between strong gravity and bending light beams, and that the light beam actually has to travel through where the gravity is, and all that stuff. How am I lacking grasping? I know that light, generally speaking, travels in straight fucking lines. Jesus.
On your say-so, even though you're full of shit, that you sat through the first 2 years...
Again, this is just... It's irrelevant to the conversation. Again, whether I did something or not. You want to call me a liar? Fine, go ahead. I'm just saying you put a whole class of people in a category and said they are all unqualified. That's bullshit. That's just obnoxious. You're saying nobody's done that? Nobody has acquired qualifications without badges? Knowledge without badges? That was the insinuation. None of them deserve any respect. None of them deserve a fair counter-argument to their theories. They are all... Your only obligation is to dismiss them and wave your hand and say, shoo, you're unimportant, you're irrelevant. You cannot possibly function appropriately. Fuck you. That's obnoxiously stupid.
And only the first 2 years of physics, and yet that somehow makes you an expert. And we have...
well, again, I didn't say that made me an expert. What I said is that on certain subjects of this field, I think I'm rather expert because I've spent more time than anybody else rubbing on that thing.
Absolutely no way of knowing other than your appalling grasp.
Again, who cares? My appalling grasp of, where's the proof of that? Show me the appalling grasp. Show me my mistakes. Show me the damn fucking Sasquatch, you motherfucking cunt. Right? I mean, Pirro's revealed himself. I mean, he's shown himself to be an idiot. Arguing things like light doesn't travel in straight lines, generally speaking. Saying that, polarization can't be understood as something that's filtered. I mean, come on. So okay, you're exposing yourself now that you don't have any idea what a science is. You don't know what science is. You don't know the difference between a brick and a banana.
Science that you have any actual fucking understanding of the course material.
Again, I obviously have demonstrated that in numerous videos. I think it's just I think that's just an obnoxiously ignorant thing to say. Even in the drawing, I'm showing some knowledge of the course material. I mean, the drawing of the magnet has the field lines and I mean, come on.
You're not qualified or educated Well, frankly, it seems all that fucking knowledgeable.
Well, it doesn't really matter. Again, your argument is vacant, empty, and it's just a bigotry. It's just a gross bigotry. You're just a fucking bigot. And that's it. And yeah, I'll use you as an example if you don't mind, Brickhead. I just, like I said, when I'm interviewed, or, doing the whatever PBS TV show there, what's that guy, if he's still alive, interviews people, I'll be saying, yeah, it was like really fucked up, man. I'm on this YouTube thing with these people who are supposed to be intelligent, right? These arrogant atheist fucks who think, oh, I'm so much smarter than the Christians because I could figure out that there's a thing called evolution. So I'm really smart. And they're just a bunch of ignorant bigots because, yeah, as soon as the Pope of their wickety-wacky science says something, they listen to every word. Dark matter, oh, it's so cool. Dark matter, yay! Information theory! Oh, holy Grammy universe! Woo! Yeah, and it was disgusting. I mean, they were gross, disgusting fucking lunatics, sucking the frickin' whatever dualism dicks all over the place and shit. It was gross. And then these fucking idiots will sit there and say somebody else's religion is what a dopey religious kook. Man, it was horrible. Awful. But I endeavored to persevere. Yeah, because that's what us good guys do. Our fight against evil.
Which is fine, but don't pretend to be.
Are you saying I'm pretending to do something again? Draft science. Yo, that's just so pretentious. Oh.
Here's my badge. That's all that counts. The badge makes the man. Okay?
No, the badge shows you've done it, and you can't.
Well, again, it doesn't do any of that. I guess that's the argument, right? I'm just saying that, no, I think that might have been, it could have been true in some point in the past, but it's not true anymore. That there's lots of reasons to doubt a lot of people in authority. That they really didn't get there by qualification. They got there by networking and ass rubbing and dick sucking and whatnot. But it really doesn't. Those who can't, become authoritized. Yeah, it's sort of that kind of world now.
That's what that means. Okay, the badge doesn't make the man. The badge shows the man, or indeed woman, or non-binary, or whatever, that they actually have, knowledge.
Well, again, I'm just arguing that I just don't think that should be relevant to somebody in terms of evaluating an idea. The idea should stand on its own. So I'm just saying I don't mind if you give somebody more, you cut somebody else more slack. But you're not talking about just cutting more slack. You're talking about killing. You're basically saying ignore them, shut them the fuck up. They have no right to have an opinion. You're basically just disqualifying a whole class of people from having an idea because some portion of that class has demonstrated themselves to be psychotic and insane.
Been through the actual experiences of it. That they've done the experiments in the case of science, or that they've studied all the course material, they've read all the books. They actually know.
Yeah, look, I think that's all great for bus drivers and all that kind of stuff, but again, that's not what we're talking about, really. Especially theoretical physics. And I'm just trying to think of, even regular physics. I mean, there's a lot of people who are probably going to be better chemists than the people who have the degrees, because the people who have degrees have no imagination. So they spend 30 years just looking at it going, well, I know the periodic table. But I sure as fuck don't know how to make that stuff stick to that stuff. No way can I do that. Right? And some guy off the street, maybe, you give him the problem, or a grammar school class, and maybe they'll figure it out. Because their brain isn't turned to starch. Anyway, I'm really dragging this out. This is preposterously, stupidly long video.
Subject on some level. It doesn't mean they're going to be the next fucking Einstein or whoever. But it shows that they have a basic competency.
Well, again, see, Einstein's a bad example because he didn't come from authority. he became an authority, right? Everything Einstein said was taken as verbatim once he was Einstein, right? And that's sort of the joke, because, you know, based on an Einsteinianism, they would have never developed the nuclear bomb in a sense, because Einstein said the odds of sustaining a nuclear reaction with the neutrons is like the odds of me slipping on a banana peel while shooting birds at midnight in Transylvania while eating a carrot. It's not possible. Yeah. So Einstein didn't look very Einstein-y in that moment.
Which you have shown you do not. So,
again, so I've shown it. So again, I'm just saying that that's fine, okay? You just really don't want to do any work at all, okay? You make this fucking 11-minute video. You didn't point out one single sentence in my paper that's inaccurate. You didn't point out one single concept that I've perverted, or I'm ignoring this volume of absolute proof. Have you done any of that? No, none of it. So you're just playing this stupid weasel's game where I'll pretend I know what I'm talking about, and I'll talk down to you, and I'll not only patronize you, I'll ridicule you, and I will insult you with absolutely not a grain of anything of value or meaning. And you're justifying yourself and saying, I'm doing good, while that guy's doing bad. And I just say, fuck you. And yeah, fuck you and your little crew of naysaying, nitpicking dimwits who have demonstrated you can't qualify your opinion with something called a rational argument. An actual thing with evidence. You can't make like an evidence-based, reasoned argument to defend your accusations. But what am I expecting from bricks? I mean, fuck. Yeah, keep forgetting. They're all bricks and Legos and silly putty and sparkle charms. There's just nothing else on this planet but dim bulbs and such. Anyway. Till next time.